Hey everyone, welcome to a Misti basic stamping tool. It's Justine here and we're going to create this really fun card. I wanted to show off a technique that I think the Misti stamping tool works best for, but before we go into the stamping tool, I need to create my background. So I've got some watercolor paper here and I'm just going to put down some water with a paintbrush. I just want to create a brush rainbow color in watercolor where the colors blend nicely together, and I want to create a nice multicolored vibrant background. In order to do this, I need to saturate my card, and I want to make sure that I have a white border around the outside where there's no water and it's dry so that the color doesn't go there. Now I'm going to be using my Gansai watercolors, and I'll link to those below. I have the 24 pack. There are different sizes available, and I'll link to all the sizes there so you can pick what you need in case you're interested in getting some of these. I'm going to start off with yellow and then move into a pinky orange color. And I want to go back in with the yellow and really blend those two shades together so that they're really smooth and they don't look like they're just two separate colors. I'm going to go in with a pink color now, and that blends really well with the orange as well. So you can see I'm using quite a bit of water. Here I'm going with green, and I'm being really careful here because I know the green and the pink are not going to blend well together. So I don't want to create them to be, same with the blue, I don't want them to be touching too much because I know they're not going to look well together. So I would just want to blend them just very slightly, and I'm going to do so using a little bit of water. I want to make sure I'm not getting any sort of brown though in my card, and that was really important for me. So now I have this really vibrant background, and I'm just going in with a little bit of water here just to spread around the color a little bit, and now I just left it to dry, and it dried this way. You have to make sure that the card is completely dry at this point when you're doing your stamping, especially if you're stamping with dye ink, because it's going to spread after. And I had just made the most gorgeous card last week using watercolor, and I didn't wait for it to dry, and it totally smudged everywhere after about an hour, and it completely ruined the card. So make sure your card is completely dry, whether you leave it to air dry overnight or you leave it to heat dry with a heat tool. But this is what I mean in one of my favorite techniques using the Misti. Now I'm using watercolor paper. It means it's textured. So it means that it's not a smooth surface. And when I go in and I stamp, you're going to notice that there's a lot of white spots, a lot of faded spots, and it did not stamp well. Well, this is where the Misti comes in super handy, in the fact that I can stamp over and over and over again and apply some pressure with my fingers until I get the perfect black solid stamp. And you can see now, even though it's a textured paper, my sentiment is clear as day as if I were to stamp on regular cardstock. What I need to do now is just attach this to my card base. I'm using a black card base that measures 8.5 by 5.5, and it's folded in the middle so that each side is 4.25 inches. It's going to make a top folding landscape card in which I can stick my watercolor background onto. So you can see just how great and solid that sentiment ended up being. Not a problem whatsoever. The last thing I wanted to do was just add some enamel dots and some sequins to my card just to make it even more vibrant and colorful and fun. I usually don't add a ton of these, but I just got a card the other day from Justine from Create a Smile, and she had used a bunch of these enamel dots on her card, and I thought it looked really actually quite nice. And usually I avoid using lots, but I just wanted to create sort of a big cluster of them. I think it just adds to the happiness of the actual card itself. So I'm using these enamel dots from Create a Smile stamps. They come in two sizes as far as the circular ones goes, but they also come with little chevron arrows and teardrops and things like that. And I'm attaching some sequins as well from Doodlebug with some glue dots, and that's the end of today's card. So I hope you enjoyed this card and you are inspired to create something and you saw how the Misti works. Don't forget that I am giving a mini Misti away, so you can win one by commenting on this video, and there are other options on how to win over on my blog, which is linked to in the description below. All the supplies used are listed below in the video description or on my blog. Click up at the top there to check out my blog and the supply list. There are 2 videos there you might want to check out that are my latest videos. And if you click on the subscribe button, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you later.